Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the Blue Line Blast podcast. Jim Biringer here, Matthew Blittner. Back. The Olympics 2026 in the books. NHL hockey resumes on Wednesday. Matt, I'm just going to say it. First of all, welcome back. Glad to be here after a week off. Lot to unpack. We really have to go from Olympic hockey to Wednesday night.
Jim, I want to start off by saying God bless the USA.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
And that's not a political statement.
No.
After 40 seconds. That's strictly God bless the USA for winning that game in which they were outplayed for 40 minutes. The second and third periods, I don't think anyone could even make any bit of a reasonable argument that they weren't outplayed by Canada during the second and third period. First period, I'd say was 52-48 USA. I think that might be fair. But Jim, that game, and I know some people saying, it's in the conversation for the greatest hockey game ever. It's possible. I don't know that I'm ready to put it there yet, just because you do have the golden, Crosby's golden goal in 2010. You do have the Miracle on Ice. You do have, Four Nations last year.
Let's not forget 96 at the World Cup.
I'll comfortably say that this game was in the top 5 all time, and I think that's a good starting off point for us today.
Yeah, obviously, let's not bury the lead. Jack Hughes scores the golden goal, the game winner in overtime. Team USA wins gold over Canada 2-1. Same score as the women's team, defeating Team Canada on the women's side, double gold.
Yeah, shout out to Team USA women, by the way, for winning gold as well.
They're the best team. They've been the best team in women's hockey now for over a year, if not longer. Dominated the tournament, but I knew, real quick, I just want to touch on that game real quick before we just dive into the men's game. I just want your thought on this. I said it didn't matter to me, a preliminary game between Canada and the United States. I don't care what the score is. What USA romped them 5-0, 5. It doesn't matter. I said, come to final. I've seen the script. Canada plays them tight, and they lose. And the reverse of 2014 happened in that game, and Team USA won, and it's good, and they get the double gold.
And Jim, I completely agree. We've all, as you said, we've all seen that script, both men and women.
Yeah.
Where, US will beat Canada when it means basically nothing. Everyone will start feeling full of themselves, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it again, and then, well, reality smacks you in the face. So, again, just kudos. Hillary Knight. What more can you say? She's a legend. 5 Olympics. She goes out in her final Olympic. What was it? 2:07 left on the clock. In the third period, I think it was. And she ties the game. Beautiful goal. And obviously, she's been the face, or one of the faces of women's hockey, especially in the United States for the last 15, 20 years. But then to have Megan Keller win it, Jim, that was you want to talk about silky smooth right there.
Yo, that's silky smooth. Those are silky smooth mitts.
Playing in the Professional Women's Hockey League, a lot of people maybe haven't heard about Megan Keller if they're not really a true diehard women's hockey fan. They're going to know the name Megan Keller. And they're also going to know the name Layla Edwards, who had a heck of a tournament. Jim, the U.S. women, they really they put an exclamation point that their time is now for the tournament, because this is what people were expecting out of them, and they finally did it.
Yeah, look, we saw 2010, they were kind of dominant. 2014, they were kind of dominant in the preliminary rounds, but then they would always lose to Canada in the final. They won in 2018, then they lost in 2022, but they've been dominating that rivalry series, and they just was like, okay, they split world championships. And again, a lot of people don't follow all that, and they just see the Olympics, and that's when they watch women's hockey. Team USA needed to win this gold medal, or else this season would have been a failure for them, because that's how dominant they were throughout the entire tournament, throughout the entire international schedule. And they went younger. They got young players. And Megan Keller's goal reminded me of Brad Marchand in the Stanley Cup final. same kind of play. So it was it's really good. So just wanted to shout them out, and obviously now that USA Hockey's got a double gold here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just wanted to give the women their due, right? Like they deserve it. We can't bury that. They did it first, and now Team USA, the men's team has it. Like I said, Jack Hughes gets the winner. Matt Boldy with a great goal. But I think to me, the story of this game, and the story of this tournament really is Connor Hellebuck for Team USA. I mean, without him, they all said it. Every one of those players post game said it. Without Connor Hellebuck, he was the best player on the ice that night. Without him, Team USA is not golden again in Milan.
No, absolutely. Connor Hellebuck deserves more credit than we can praise, than we can heap on him. I understand how Connor McDavid was awarded tournament MVP for breaking the points record, and the voting having to be done by like the middle to end of the first period of the gold medal game. I get it. But Hellebuck absolutely deserves to be the MVP. Just unbelievable tournament. And for someone who everyone has said, oh, he can't win the bid one. He doesn't win the bid one. He always folds in the playoffs. Oh, look, 4 Nations. He folded in overtime. First of all, the overtime goal by McDavid at 4 Nations was not Hellebuck's fault.
Absolutely not. We were both there.
There were there on that team, on Team USA, whose fault it was before it was Hellebuck's fault. But he finally won the bid one. What was it? 41-42. I believe he broke Ryan Miller's record for a U.S. goalie in terms of most saves in a medal game at the Olympics.
Yeah, and he got an assist on the game winner.
Yeah, an assist on the game. Well, secondary assist on the game winner. Just an incredible game, an incredible tournament. And Jim, just to run through a couple of the highlights for Hellebuck in the gold medal game that people maybe, if they haven't yet watched the game or if they're casual and they didn't really see pointed out. First period, I believe it is, he stops McDavid on a breakaway. No, second period.
Second period breakaway.
First of all, anytime Connor McDavid is coming down on you with a breakaway, I know the numbers will say it's much less than what I'm about to say. There's a 90% chance he's scoring. He's just.
I held my breath when he came in on a breakaway. Right. When he got behind the defense, I'm like, oh no, he's scoring.
Right. Then third period, he makes that unbelievable paddle save. Kudos to Bruce Bennett for capturing the photo of it, that iconic photo that will now become immortal of the paddle save on the goal line on Devin Taves. Then let's see, he stopped Macklin Celebrini, who you want to talk about a coming out party announcing, you know what, my time is now. Macklin Celebrini had a tournament of tournaments. He led the tournament in goals, actually, I believe. And he stopped him on a breakaway. And so that was just incredible. Nathan McKinnon missed, at the side of the net. That wasn't a save by Hellebuck. But
Charlie McAvoy with the mad scramble in front. I mean, Connor Hellebuck got his paddle on a couple of saves there, pads on there. Charlie McAvoy. How about the saves on the 5-on-3 in the second period alone too, right? Like those two dudes, I mean, USA is down on a 5-on-3 with with the cheat code out there, with the EA Sports Hero line, NHL Hero line out there, with Macklin Celebrini, Connor McDavid, Nate McKinnon, Cale Makar. I mean, it's like they're going to score. They don't. And, I mean, he was the story of the tournament. And to me, I thought he was tournament MVP. He won best goaltender, right? But he had a .976 save percentage and a 1 goal against in the gold medal game in Milan. Like, Connor Hellebuck had a coming out party. He shut a lot of critics down. Jack Hughes did the same thing. He shut up a lot of critics, myself included. That he can't. Look, I'll be honest.
He shut up a lot of the Devils beat.
Yeah.
You saw Quinn Hughes' comments.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards. It didn't name any reporters, but in terms of calling out,
Jack post game is like, yeah, you guys talk a lot of stuff. Like, I see it. Like they all see it. They all saw it. But the criticism of Jack Hughes was fair, and he delivered in the big moment.
Yeah, and look, you want to talk about delivering in big moment. remember last year at Four Nations where Jack Hughes looked pretty much overwhelmed and out of place at Four Nations?
Yeah.
And not just in the gold, and not just in the championship game, but the entire tournament. He really did not have a good tournament last year, and he was healthy at the tournament. There was, he might have been a little banged up, just like any player is midway through the season, but he didn't have a season-ending injury until afterwards. Jim, he showed his game-breaking ability throughout this Olympic tournament. He was just unbelievable. Starting with the very first game when he had 2 goals. He was just an absolute dynamo all over the ice. And then, of course, he gets high stit, late in the gold medal game, loses a couple teeth. I guess Tate McRae's going to have, it's going to have to be the good-looking one in that relationship. Then he takes a high sticking penalty that negates part of, I think it was like a minute 20 of power play, minute 20 left of the power play. So it's looking like, oh no. And then he comes swooping in out of nowhere because a lot of people, the TV angle that NBC had wasn't the greatest in terms of from a producer and from a director's, role of trying to position the cameras. But Werenski, sends the puck cross ice, and you can't initially see that Hughes, but you do see it just as he's shooting the puck that it's him. And you don't know initially that the puck is in because they cut away from it. But you hear Kenny Albert, who, by the way, had a phenomenal tournament.
Great tournament for Kenny Albert, baby.
Great tournament for Kenny, for Eddie Olchet, for Brian Boucher, calling all the games. And Kenny just absolutely, Jack Hughes with the golden goal. Look, Jack Hughes, there's been a lot of pressure on him to deliver big moments ever since before he was drafted. He was supposed to go number 1. He went number 1 ever since he went. Jim, it would not surprise me if starting Wednesday, well, he might not be there.
If he plays.
Whenever his next game is with the Devils, whether it's Wednesday or Thursday, it would not surprise me to see Jack go off on a heater for the rest of the season.
I think so. I mean, I think he's going to carry this moment into the rest of the season, and I think this is something that room needs and that team needs, right? Like they've been down, the morale has been down, like they've been looking for a spark. You get him coming off this moment, and he's a difference maker on the ice when he's healthy. He really is.
Yeah, just a complete and total difference maker. I mean, Quinn Hughes, difference maker too. Look at the tournament that he had, including the overtime winner in
Sweden. And he's like, I'm not coming off. He's just like, get you guys.
It reminded me of Mike Mussina back when he was pitching for the Yanks in, I think it was...
Is that 01?
No. It was later on. It was either like 2006 or 2007. It was somewhere between 06 and 08 when he waved off Torrey. He's saying, no, you stay there in the dugout. Just absolutely great by him. And, I mean, look, the Tkachuk brothers did their thing this tournament. I think a lot of people maybe thought that Matthew was the better player than Brady going in. And, I mean, if you look at their career numbers, Matthew does have more points than Brady. Brady is the more dynamic player, in my opinion. And he showed it throughout the tournament. Maybe not so much in the score sheet, but in the intangibles. Another guy who showed up, Austin Matthews. I mean, he gets destroyed up in Toronto. If Jack Hughes thinks he gets destroyed in New Jersey,
Matthews gets destroyed in Toronto.
Matthews in Toronto. Matthews has had the label of choke artist, loser, whatever terms you want to use.
Can't deliver in a big game.
Yeah, he had a huge tournament.
He had 2 big back checks in that game. I'll be honest, he played really well defensively in that game.
Redeemed himself somewhat for Four Nations when he, blew the assignment on McDavid in overtime there. So just absolutely great tournament by him. Jack Eichel, I think, had a very strong tournament. Again, it might not show up in necessarily points, but he had an unbelievable tournament. Clayton Keller, he did well. Dylan Larkin, people overlook how good he's been in Detroit, throughout his career. He sort of gets overlooked because he doesn't have that name brand. It's sort of like a Pavel Datsyuk or a Henrik Zetterberg. But he really is the guy there. And, really you want to talk about people who showed up and showed out. Zach Werenski is showing that last year was not a fluke by any means. You can no longer say that, the conversation about best defenseman in the NHL is Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. It's Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, and Zach Werenski.
100%.
Plain and simple. There is no disputing that Werenski deserves to be in that conversation, firmly in that conversation. And I know, and I'm going to say this for the New Yorkers who listen to our show, watch our show. I know a lot of people are not happy with JT Miller, not happy with Vincent Trocheck, but they both showed what they can do when put in the proper roles. Is Vincent Trocheck a first or second line center at this point in his career? No. Is JT Miller a first or second line center at this point in his career? Maybe second line, not a first line.
No.
They showed how effective they can be, especially defensively. I mean, Jim, you want to talk about Team USA was 18 for 18 on the penalty kill?
That is correct.
Tournament. How often was the forward pair Miller and Trocheck?
Every time.
Especially during that 5-on-3, that huge 5-on-3. They really did well. Again, it's not going to show up in points, but in terms of their defensive effort, Ranger fans must be asking, where the heck has this been?
Yeah, I mean, I have to ask the same thing for on the side of Mike Sullivan too, coaching wise. Like, to me, this is his best coaching since he's won the Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2016 and 2017. Like, this is not the coach that's in New York right now. I know it's a different team. You're with pretty much an elite all-star team, the best of the best from Team USA and USA Hockey. But, like, they had a plan. They stuck to it, and it worked. Like, at times, they were a little too passive playing defensively, especially against Sweden and especially against Canada, because you can't. I mean, they survived 40 minutes of being outshot and Canada just coming in waves all the time, and I think that was a little bit. They played for overtime at a certain point in the third period, and it almost cost them. Now again, Brock Faber hit 2 posts at the end of the second period, so maybe that goes in, and it's a different game too. But I think, like, Trocheck and Miller got a lot of slack for their defensive, especially Miller, for his defensive effort with the New York Rangers this year. And I agree. Like, everybody's just like, yo, where was this guy all year? And look, Trocheck and Miller both read the papers and read everything. Oh, why is these guys here? Well, they were there to kill penalties and have a specific role. And I think Trocheck posted something on Instagram, or one of them did, after the gold medal, and just said ha ha and just rubbed it in everybody's face. Which, hey, good for them. Good for them.
Look, you keep receipts. If you perform, you deserve to. You can gloat. And look, while we're giving kudos to people who were being, ridiculed for decisions or ridiculed for performance, Jim, I think we both owe Bill Guerin an apology.
I give him a half-hearted one. We
talked about it on the show. I interviewed him, what was it, a month and a half ago for
a little bit, yeah.
Column. A lot of people, the two of us included here, went after Bill to varying degrees, saying, how, you're basically using the same team as Four Nations, you're being too defensive, you're not bringing enough scoring talent. Where's Jason Robertson? Where's Cole Caulfield? Why is this guy on the roster? Why is that guy on the roster? Jim, did they look like a perfect team throughout the tournament? No. Did they come together and win what might be the most important hockey game in U.S. history? Yes, they did. They came together. They won gold. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Was it always pretty? No. Their first period starts in each of the games, minus the gold medal game, were pretty slow. Yes, they were terrific in the second periods. There were teams that maybe they should have gone the Canada route and just absolutely annihilated teams instead of having to scrape out, close wins. All that's true. Doesn't matter. They won the gold medal. Yeah. And they won the gold medal by beating the team who was the heavy favorite, who had just beaten them 12 months or almost to the day, 12 months earlier. Jim, Bill Guerin deserves a lot. Him and his staff, they deserve so much credit for the team they put together and sticking with it and not caving into everyone who was saying, well, no, you're doing it wrong. You know what? they did it just right enough to win gold.
Yeah, I mean they ran back 4 nations minus a couple of players, and I could look. Kudos to them, they got it right. They could laugh in everybody's face. They won, but I stand by my comments at the time because I look at the 2 most important games of the tournament. They scored 4 goals, and especially against Sweden, where again they continue to sit back. And I know Jacob Markstrom played a heck of a game, and that's a guy, by the way, that's probably going to hopefully carry a performance from the Olympics over into his NHL season as well. But yeah, but what I'm saying is they had chances to score. Yeah, Tage Thompson put the puck in the net. All these guys. Again, I'll still stand by it. You scored 2 goals against Canada. 1 was overtime with 3-on-3. You scored 2 5-on-5 goals against Sweden and Canada, and you annihilated Slovakia and all the other bad teams. I think you could still use a little bit more goal scoring, especially 5-on-5, but you won. That's fine. They won. They can. Hey, I still stand by what I said. I think you could have used another goal scorer in the lineup.
Look, they absolutely could have used another goal scorer, but when it all is said and done, and maybe in 2028 at the World Cup, they will have another goal scorer, but everything turned out golden for them, and that's all that truly matters. And Jim, I want to get a more broader focus for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
This was a hockey game that was supposed to bring the country together, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tiptoe around the line at a moment, okay? This was a hockey game that was supposed to bring people together, not too dissimilar from how they, the 1980 Miracle on Ice game brought a country together. Obviously, factors were different, the world was different, very, the problems that were being played, that played the U.S. then are not the same problems that are played in the U.S. now. But it was a hockey game that was supposed to bring people together. And I'm going to point out both positive and negative here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to use my friend group as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend group, we have a fantasy football league that we have had going, I think, 11, 12 years now, something like that. It's a 12-team league. Outside of myself, who obviously covers hockey, my career is in hockey, and outside of one of my friends who is a big hockey fan, and one other guy who is a casual at best hockey fan, no one in that group chat knows anything about hockey, couldn't name you a player on Team USA. Okay? Wouldn't know who Connor McDavid is if you said, hey, who's Connor McDavid? That is the type of don't care about hockey that we're talking about right now. By half an hour before the game started, through half an hour after the game ended, the group chat was blowing up about hockey with them going absolutely nuts over it. Jim, it brings people together. It gets people who don't know anything, who don't care about hockey. It brings them into it. And it's a hockey game. First and foremost, it's a hockey game. Which leads me to the negative. What are you people doing who are on social media and everything, who are trying to, bash Team USA for accepting a phone call from the sitting president of the United States, for having a government official in the room after the game? First of all, the government official is friends with Bill Guerin. It's well established. Mike Russo from The Athletic literally wrote an article about it earlier today, about how he has a long-standing friendship with Bill Guerin. Guess what? It pays to have friends in high places. You're the GM of a team. You're allowed to invite who you want into the room, regardless of political climate or not. And for people saying, oh, well, they shouldn't go to the White House. Jim, every gold medal, every championship team going back much more than, much further back than you or I, or probably anyone who watches or listens to our show has ever been alive, it gets invited to the White House by a sitting president to celebrate their achievement. Now, does every team go? No. What was it? Was it the Warriors or the Eagles a few years ago who didn't go? Oh,
yeah. I think more recently, in more recent times, we've seen it because of, again, don't want to get political on this because this is a hockey podcast first and foremost for everybody. obviously everybody knows the political climate, so I'm not getting into that. They have their reasons for not going. I'll say that.
Right.
That's it.
Those teams had their reasons, and that's fine.
Right.
But to say, oh, to bash Team USA for accepting the phone call. Now, whether they end up doing or not, who knows? It's still to be determined. What with the NHL season restarting on Wednesday, Team USA women already politely declined the invitation because of other commitments.
Yeah.
To bash Team USA, if they want to go, they're gonna go. If they don't want to go, they're not gonna go. But to bash them for accepting the phone call, like, come on, people. Like, get it through your head. It's a hockey game. Yes, I know there's the political climate, which is part of why Four Nations was so, emotionally charged, and why, back in 1980, the political climate, the climate between two countries was why that game was so important. What do you expect them to not take the phone call? Let's be real, people. They were going to be invited. No matter what, they were going to be invited. Whether they go or not, again, is another one. They were going to be invited, so stop getting on them about accepting the call.
Well, again, this is social media, right? Like, it's social media. Like, most of the people, I'm gonna say it, the average American who isn't in the sports business or does this stuff isn't on social media and could care less, right? It's a tradition. It's an honor. You get the phone call. You talk to the sitting president. You go, all that stuff. If I get the call and I was on Team USA, I'm going. Like, that's the way it is, right? So, I mean, again, other circumstances with the women's thing, with the video and everything, and yeah, again, you can go find it. It's out there. You can have your own opinions on that. Whatever. Again, we know Matthew Tkachuk has been like, you listen to how Jack Hughes had his first interview with Catherine Tappan after the game. It was about USA, proud of his country, proud to be American, proud to wear the USA jersey. Like, it was about that. It was about country first. And this thing has been building for USA Hockey, right? Like, and you said it. Your group text and my group text yesterday. All right, guys that don't watch hockey all the time after the game. Do you believe Jack Hughes, USA won, all this stuff? It's like, this is great. I read today, one of the ticket outlets, Secondary Ticket Market, said Devils and Sabres tickets are up 58% after Jack Hughes scored the goal on Sunday. That's good.
Differentials.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Exactly. So, I mean, like, tickets are up. People are buying. They bought more tickets than they have. Okay, that's great. Again, if he plays in the game, we'll find out. However, like, people are talking about it today. Mainstream media has been talking about it. Whether they know what they're talking about or not is another thing. But they're talking.
Is the more prevailing.
Yeah, the not is the more prevailing. But look, I will say this. I kind of agree with Don LaGreca on this. Skip Bayless made a tweet about the Wednesday quarterfinals, about 3-on-3, how NHL should adopt it. And, the hockey community got on him, and rightfully so. I mean, but Don made a great point, is like, we want mainstream media to talk about it, but when they get stuff wrong, we jump on them. Well, I tried to hold my tongue today because there was a lot of stuff that was like, all right, whatever. But you know what? I'm glad it's on mainstream media. I'm glad everybody's talking about it, because this is part of the reason why Commissioner Gary Bettman has said the Olympics doesn't help the National Hockey League, because it doesn't translate to the regular season. Are people going to watch from Sunday and start watching the rest of the regular season, the playoff races and the playoffs and things like that? Look, again, what these players do after they win the gold medals is their own thing. People need to understand. Team USA had not won a gold medal since 1980. Lost to Canada in 2002. Lost to Canada in 2010. Lost to Canada in 2014 in the semifinals. Lost to Canada at the World Cup of Hockey. Like, they're and again, I always say this. 1996 gets forgotten because it's not Olympics and all this stuff. But that was a catalyst for USA Hockey. 96 World Cup of Hockey, beating Canada best on best tournament. This group, this U.S. National Development Team program, has been coming up, winning gold medals on every level They ended their 92-year drought at the World Championships last year. They completed their job at the Olympics, and they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, well said. And look, it wasn't just World Championships. They won World Juniors.
Right.
U18s. They've been winning a lot over the last couple of years, and it's a testament to the people that USA Hockey has in place, up and down, and from the top of the organization on down, to getting and finding talent throughout the United States. I mean, Jim, there's 330 million people in the United States, roughly. There's 750 some odd NHL players. Let's say another 1,000 to 1,500 professional hockey players, just in the in the recognized minor leagues. It's there's not too many people who are going to be good at a sport, and that goes for any sport, not just hockey. You look at baseball, it's similar numbers. Football, I mean, okay, 53-man roster. Or basketball, what is it? 12-man roster.
Yeah.
It's difficult to find, difficult to get people interested in a sport as it is, regardless of what the sport is. So for USA Hockey to find those people, to get the word out there, to branch off and just bring in people. Look, Austin Matthews is from Arizona. Who the hell's ever heard of people growing up in Arizona getting into hockey? Last I checked, ice doesn't last long in Arizona.
Nope.
Okay.
Blake Coleman, obviously Blake Coleman doesn't play on a team, but he's from Texas.
Right.
There was guys from Texas. There's guys. Yeah, obviously the Minnesota, Massachusetts guys are on a team. But again, you said it, Austin Matthews, Arizona. Without the Arizona Coyotes, without the expansion, is he playing hockey in Arizona growing up?
No. Probably playing baseball. If he would have been good enough.
Right. So, I mean, this program has come a long way to grow the game of hockey on both sides. And they followed a similar model to Canada, the grassroots level, and they developed a program that's been coming, that's been winning. And they had not, in this era, and I'll say it because this is the era began in 2010 with the John Carlson overtime goal. And they went almost went every other year winning World Junior Gold and placing well in World Championships. They had done everything except win a gold medal. And they did it.
In Canada.
And Canada, right, on a big stage. Outside of World Juniors because they were doing it. But again, a lot of people don't watch all international hockey. And it's a shame because you see these players. And by the way, shout out Tage Thompson, Dylan Larkin, and Zach Werenski. All three guys. And it might have been another. And I think Clayton Keller, too. And Jeremy Swayman. So that's 5 guys I'm thinking of right now. 2 gold medals in less than a calendar year.
Yeah, I was about to say triple goals, but I don't think that they I don't think that they managed the.
Well, I think Tage has a World Junior gold too. So I mean, I know it's the Stanley Cup is a triple gold club, but I mean, he's done it all for this.
That should really be That should really be the silver club because Stanley Cup is made out of silver, not gold. I've always
exactly
that was a bit of a weird thing that they refer to that as.
But speaking of, real quick, because I mentioned the international hockey, I want to get your thoughts on it, and maybe you're going here. This is my point, and I don't like to be a hockey snob on this, but when people get upset about the overtime format, start watching international hockey because then it won't become foreign to you. Because people were talking about 3-on-3 overtime. How can the IOC, guys? It's a double IHF event. Yes, it's the IOC, but the double IHF is the governing body for international hockey. 2019, they changed the rules to 20-minute 3-on-3 overtime in a gold medal game. I think, again, it would be wise if you love the Olympics so much to start following international hockey from World Championships down because it's really good and it'll help you understand the rules going forward. Because these rules aren't changing anytime soon. And the World Cup of Hockey will be NHL rules like they were in the Four Nations.
So I agree with everything you said there. I will say I am one of the people who I wasn't vocal about it online.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid enough to do that.
No.
I did not love the championship game being determined by 3-on-3. I love that there's no shootout.
Yeah, me too. I hate the shootout. I don't want no shootout.
Shout out Rick Carpinello. Every damn game aimed that the Rangers would ever go to a shootout, he'd be like, and thus ends the real hockey portion of the evening.
That was great. Or a good period. Is that a good period?
Right, that was throughout the game. I'm talking about specifically the extra time. So I will say, I'm not a fan of 3-on-3 determining a championship, and I know the U.S. women did it too. I know the U.S. obviously, in the NHL, obviously it's 3-on-3 during the regular season, but then during the playoffs, it's normal 5-on-5, 20 minutes. It's normal hockey. I don't expect the IOC, the IIHF, to change their rules, but it would have been nice, or would be nice, if at some point they adopted an NHL mindset in that the round robin and the quarterfinal and the semifinal, you want to have it determined by 3-on-3 overtime and no shootout. You just extend the 3-on-3, whether it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever it is. By all means, gold medal game should not, in my personal opinion, should not be 3-on-3. I'm glad there's no shootout. It should be 5-on-5, 20 minutes. If you don't have a winner, take your 18-minute, 15-minute, 18-minute, whatever, and come back out for another 20 minutes and so forth. And you can't say, oh, it's gonna wear people down till it's in the middle of the season. That's why the NHL does 3-on-3, because it keeps the game shorter. I'm talking about one game. I'm talking about the gold medal game. One game is not going to add so much wear and tear that's going to affect the players long term. It's not going to happen. So that's my 2 cents on the matter.
Hey, it's a fair point. Look, do I like 5-on-5 overtime in the playoffs? Absolutely. We heard John Cooper's comments about it after being TV and time constrained and all this stuff, and it sounded sore loserish to a point, but I understand it. Look, would I like it? Yes. But then here's my other suggestion, is if we're going to do that, then put the gold medal game the same day as the bronze medal game. So in case there's continuous overtime, because the gold medal game is the same day as the closing ceremonies, and the scheduling is not the best, but we're going to have it in 4 years anyway. So like that would be my little tweak. But again, if we're going to go 5-on-5, then let's put the gold medal game in a time slot where we don't have time constraints.
Sounds smart and good to me.
But I got a question for you. How do you feel about some of the comments that have come out on the Team Canada side? In regards to Nate McKinnon was talking about the better team won.
Comments were taken out of context.
Absolutely, 100%.
If you read the full quote, he did not say. Yes, he said those words, but as part of a larger comment that he made, in which he was basically saying, look, you be the judge, you feel that, who was the better team. But he still gave kudos to
Team USA.
Whoever it was that initially cut it down to make it seem inflammatory, I bet on you for doing that. John Cooper's comments, but look, in the heat of the moment, not heat of the moment, but in the immediate aftermath, what do you expect a coach? A highly competitive man that we know John Cooper is.
Yeah, he's very competitive.
What do you expect him to say? Really?
No, and then you hear other coaches like Jared Bednar talking about it, saying, I didn't like it. Then Ryan Warsawski, San Jose talked about, but he didn't like it, but he understood the rules because he was in that position last year with Team USA, because that's how they won their gold medal. Again, rules are the rules, but Canada had opportunities and they missed their opportunities. The Nathan McKinnon open net, the 5-on-3 power play, the save by Hellebuck. I put it out there yesterday during the game. I said, look, Connor Hellebuck, the save, the missed chances, all this stuff. Team USA's gotten all the breaks to get to overtime to make it a one shot wins all. Those are the type of games that you win if you're Team USA, because if you get that many breaks and you don't win, like your goaltender did everything.
Right. And also, for people saying, oh, well, with the 3-on-3, with the Canadian people who are all being like, oh, 3-on-3, it wasn't fair to have decided that way. You had Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar. You had the two best players and the best defenseman on the ice together.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, bro, come on.
You could have made it 3-on-5. You could have told Team USA, by the way, you're allowed to play with 5 people. Team Canada is only going to go with 3 people. And the betting favorite still would have been that Team Canada would have won.
Right, and not to mention, they could have rolled out Mitch Marner too, and like these guys. Like, come on. Like, Team USA had the talent too.
Celebrini out there who had
Celebrini and Marner. Come on, like, what are we doing? Like, yes, Team USA could roll out the Hughes brothers and Eichel and Werenski. You know, Canada had chances to win the game and didn't, and Team USA won the game. It came down to one shot. Whether it was 5-on-5, whether it was 3-on-3, it came down to one shot that won the game.
For the second big tournament in a row between these two teams, it came down to one shot. Canada won 1, US won 1. 2 years from now, at the World Cup of Hockey, or Hockey World Cup, whichever name they want to give it, because they seem to flip-flop back and forth.
Yeah.
They'll probably go back to the gold medal or championship game, whatever, however you want to describe it. They'll go back to the title game. And they'll have their trilogy.
Yeah, like this is what you want in hockey. This is what grows the game.
Tested in a 3 layers of hell match.
Hey, I like it. Hey, even better. Hey, but the problem is you got to get there first because you got the sneaky Finns, right? Like that team was really good. Like, and I think Team Canada showed, that you can dominate preliminary round, but once you get to the knockout stage, it doesn't matter. Throw it out the window. Czechs played them hard. Finns played them hard, and if Finns don't sit back, Canada's gone to semifinals. Like, let's be honest here. Like, Finland sat back, and that was bad strategy on their part.
It was. And, Canada did struggle at points, outside of the round robin. And they struggled at times, and they had to come back late, which is a testament to the talent that they have and the work ethic that they have, that they were able to come back. Because just because you have the talent doesn't necessarily mean that you're always going to maximize it. No. But they found ways to do it. And they did what they were supposed to do. You're supposed to destroy bad teams, and you're supposed to find a way to beat good teams.
Yeah.
They found a way to beat good teams. Jim, again, everyone knows Connor McDavid's great. Everyone knows Nathan McKinnon's great. We've said it multiple times here tonight. Macklin Celebrini he showed he's not the superstar of the future. He's a superstar. Period. Now, in the present, he's a superstar. And if the Sharks go to the playoffs, and I don't have a vote this year, if the Sharks go to the playoffs, even if they get bounced in the first round, because the votes for the MVP, for the Hart Trophy are done before the playoffs actually begin. There's no way in my mind that he's not the Hart Trophy winner if the Sharks make the playoffs. I don't care if they make it as the second wild card by 1 point. They are based upon what he's doing, he is the Hart Trophy winner. And I'll tell you this as well, and I'm sure I'll get in trouble for it for saying this. At the Devils Sweep the Deck Gala, Brendan Dillon had not an interview, just a normal conversation with a few people, and said his opinion on who the Hart Trophy winner, the Hart Trophy he goes to this year, Macklin Celebrini.
I mean,
it's one thing for writers to say it, and writers obviously are the ones who vote. When you've got players across the league, and you can be sure that Dillon is not the only player around the league.
No, I think a lot of players. I think a lot of players feel that way.
He's the guy.
Yeah, I think a lot of players feel that way about Macklin Celebrini coming out party for sure. If people didn't know who he was already, great tournament for him. Again, go back and forth. Jordan Binnington played well. Connor Hellebuck stole the show, stole the game for Team USA. A lot of good guys, a lot of guys stepping up, right? Again, what would Canada been? No Crosby, no Josh Morrissey. It's unfortunate Josh Morrissey back-to-back years can't play in the final. Crosby gets hurt. So going to be interesting to see where things go in terms of the international stage moving forward. but Team USA golden, the double gold in Milan. I mean, it's a great time for USA hockey, Matt. It really is.
Great time for USA hockey. Jim, I almost wanted to put skates on. I mean, I obviously I skate, but I almost wanted to put skates on and try to just get a pickup game of hockey going. I mean, with all the snow on the ground and everything, I'm sure you could probably find somewhere where it's icy instead of snowy and get some people going. But you want to be able to capitalize on this, and what the U.S. team does next is what's going to matter. And I'm not talking about World Juniors next year. I'm not talking about World Championships. I'm not even talking about the World Cup in 2028. It's a matter of how USA Hockey parlays this success in this moment now into not just the grassroots movement, but into capitalizing on the popularity. And who knows, maybe you get closer to being. They're never going to surpass baseball as the number 3 in this country, or basketball, whichever one you want. Some people say baseball's number 3. Some people say basketball's number 3. You're never going to surpass them, but you can get a lot closer to there instead of being so much closer to number 5, which is MLS.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's a great point.
If you can get closer to 3, where it's sort of like a 3A, 3B situation, that could be a huge win.
No, absolutely, and I think that's a perfect spot to wrap it. Just to say, this is where the NHL, USA Hockey, everybody's just got to capitalize on this moment. And, you're going to see the replay of Jack Hughes over and over again. We had to deal with Sidney Crosby's goal over and over and over again. That's a marketing ploy. That's going to help you. You got great games coming up. Like I said, the mainstream media is talking about it. People that haven't talked about hockey are talking about it. Hopefully that generates more. And because it's a great day for USA Hockey, it's a great day for Team USA. Double gold in Milan. Hey, Blue Line Blast podcast is here for you. As always, Jim Biringer, Matthew Blittner. Guys, take care.